How to grow wealth in less than 10 minutes. Try to keep it short, try to keep it simple, but this is the easy way to actually grow wealth. Well, easy, there is no easy way to anything, but you have to start accepting that if you want to earn wealth, there's a certain steps that you have to take. Obviously education, mindset, but maybe flipping for you what wealth actually means. So I was going to the store, listening to my podcast, driving my car, listening in and hearing Billie Jean from Billie Jean Marketing talk about what it is. And this is some of these aspects that you hear all the time. But as somebody who does this all the time, you'll forget about this moment or this feeling, because it's quite simplistic and it's quite normal for me. In the essence, and you'll see this book somewhere behind me as well, if you understand Think and Grow Rich, which is a classic, but probably should be at least, you should have read it at least once, maybe multiple times, depending on what you think of it and if you think of these materialistic things or things that in your life is. But in his book, there's one simple thing that comes to the mind. That is wealth, as in monetary wealth, which we consider wealth, is the last thing on his list. There's 4 things that actually conclude having wealth, but money is one of those things that is just a tiny part of it. And yes, money will solve a lot of problems. It will create different problems, but most likely you want to create what is real wealth. And that's what came to me while I was driving around, is the sense of real wealth is freedom. What do I consist of freedom? Is that being able to go somewhere, do something? No, freedom is being able to earn with what you love to do, and then not be stuck having to do something at a predestined time that is not your time. Let me recap that a little bit and tell you into a story. Like a couple of weeks ago, I had Corona. I couldn't work for a couple of days. Didn't really bother me because it was also nice. It was Christmas-ish, and we just enjoyed our family quarantine as what you need to do. But the freedom I have of not being able to have to go to work, not having to show up to anyone, I had to do maybe 2 hours over a span of a week because some stuff needed to be done. And that was it. That's the freedom of time that I have created for myself to be able to do what I think is necessary for my life to be enjoyable, or to at least have that what I call wealth. Wealth is freedom of time, freedom to do what I want to do, freedom to work with whom I want to work, freedom to enjoy something and have things work for me while I'm sleeping. So not everything in my life works for me while I'm sleeping. There's things that I need to do to actually increase my wealth, and that means doing things that I like to do, and in exchange for those things I will get money from other people. But there's also investments that work for me while I'm doing nothing. So while I was laying down recovering from this disease, I didn't have to do anything, and after a week I could have clicked the button and say harvest, and some money would come into my hands, or money from miners would come into my hands. There's different things that bring me a level of income that I think is necessary for my life. But more importantly, let's flip back to wealth is freedom of time. You can never buy more time, and that's the thing that most people misinterpret and forget for themselves, is like you, me, and every single other person gets 24 hours in a day. Obviously, if you don't need sleep that much as other people, or you disregard your sleep, which I prefer you not to do, you might, have a little bit more time than anybody else. But most of us mortals, we get 24 hours. And what you do within that 24 hours means what you get out of it. But also what you want to be able to do in that 24 hours gives you the freedom to choose and the freedom to desire what it is. So a couple of months, or not even really sure anymore how long ago, one of my masterminds, and if you don't have a mastermind, create one, join ours, find some way to get something that is going to accumulate and create that wisdom and that brain trust and that family and friends that you can trust in any situation. But that's a whole different ballgame for today. One of the masterminders I am part of looked at me, and I was bitching, moaning about my personal life. And at that time, 6 out of 7 days, we were still working outside. Working outside as much as you can, work outside. But we were still allowed inside offices and all these types of cool things that you used to do. And 6 out of 7 days a week, I would cook for my children. I would put them to bed. I would read them stories. I would play with them. I would have fun with them. And I was, as the human being that I am, that was for me not high enough of a bar. That wasn't as like, you know what? I should be there 7 days a week, 8 days a week. I should be there every morning, every afternoon. All these types of things that in my mind continually want to improve, continually want to be better. You have to do. So then you look back, and she set me back, and she said, like, look, you have the freedom, and you actually have created a system in your life to enjoy 6 days out of the week, to have a home cooked meal, sit down with your family, look them in the eyes, put them to sleep, and enjoy that little things that a lot of people don't. Like, I was talking to a family friend of mine, and her partner really enjoyed these crazy times that we're going through, because she really, really loved the fact that he was home, and he was home for dinner, and he was home for the kids, and he was home to play with them. So please, when you think of wealth, don't be looking at these fancy pantsy cutesy girls and guys with massive Lambos and fancy things, because you know, if your life revolves around having a nice Mercedes, but you have to drive that nice Mercedes to a shitty fucking job that you fucking hate with people that you don't like, then that's not wealth. You might have money, but you have this beautiful gilded cage which you're now living in. And that's something that once we understand for ourselves, like what it is that we truly want to have, think with the end result in mind, and then pinpoint and build your life in a way that you get the results that you want to have. So obviously my personal freedom is not similar to anybody else, and my structure of my life might not be exactly the same as what you want to, but you need to think about this. You need to think about, like, okay, so how much free time do I want to have? How much do I want to do nothing? How much do I want to spend time with my family or my friends, or playing video games, or, you know, doing charitable work, or whatever makes your heart warm? And that is the thing. You and any other person that you're going to involve in your life, if you truly, truly, truly work from your heart's desire and work from what is your greater purpose here, means you're going to, it's not going to feel like work. You're not going to be like, oh my God, I have to wake up and I have to go do this. Even some days it might still feel a little bit like that, but most of the time it will be fucking amazing. So you want to work every single hour of the day because it's fucking amazing. But at the same time, if you settle yourself and think like, hey, what do I really want to do? And how much time is really allotted to me, and how can I, for example, buy back time by hiring a cleaning lady, or hiring a babysitter, or hiring somebody to do all the shitty things that you don't want to do in life. And that's fine. That's going to increase your personal level of happiness. Or if you would say, you know what, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to take a little bit of a less pay, but I'm going to do something that I absolutely love, and that is going to give me energy instead of draining it out of me, where I now have to pay all kinds of things that I want to get because I have this fancy job, but I need to, like, you know, inject myself with consumerism just because that's what life does when you make more abundance for yourself. Because sometimes when you have a shitty thing to do, you want to, like, inject yourself with something else because that is validating it. Like, yeah, that's what it is. So to close it off, think of yourself and the time that you now have. How can you increase that? How can you improve them? How can you say to yourself, like, this is the life that I want to have, and this is the level of freedom that I really, really want to enjoy? And then think of it, and then set it into the motion for yourself to start gaining back more free time. Start setting up more time where you want to do nothing, or where you're doing what you actually love to do, so that you get that energy to that once the pillars of where you actually need to make money or where you are making money is going to exponentially increase, because the energy that you got from doing absolutely nothing or doing things that you absolutely love, tenfold bring that back in the level where you actually have to perform. And my brain works in a serious way, so I'm already completely lost where we started. But yes, you want to create so much free time. You want to create as much time as you don't have to do anything. So if you can cut out commuting, do it. If you can cut out cooking and have somebody else who cooks high quality meals for you, don't eat fucking prepackaged food, do it. If you can have somebody clean for you, do it. Absolutely anything that you hate, take it off the table and throw it into the trash can and make sure that somebody else fixes that for you. And if you can afford it, do it. If you need to say to yourself, like, you know what, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to earn less income, but I'm going to gain more free time. What is much more wealthy to you? And figure out what it is for you that makes you tick and that makes your life wonderful, and have that more inside of you, because we like to stack stuff on top of each other, because we like human beings. And if you're a performer, you want to do more instead of doing less and enjoying more with what you have. And as always, just end up in gratitude and just smack the table here. No, just end your days, start your days in gratitude. And if you have, nothing to do and you have that time, enjoy it, because many people don't have this. And you'll be amazed how jealous they are if you have shit to do and you can just sit around and scratch your ass. Because not a lot of people have the gift to actually be doing this. Enjoy.